Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw. Today I am re-reviewing Seventh Son of a Seventh Son by Iron Maiden, the 7th studio album. I'm extremely excited to talk about this album, so let's do it. Let's re-review this album. Let's continue on with the Iron Maiden discography. So first things first, you heard me correctly, this is a re-review. I originally reviewed Seventh Son of a Seventh Son back in 2012, and when this discography was picked by you guys, I was excited and interested to see if my thoughts would change completely about this album, maybe a little bit or at all, when this discography was picked, because I originally reviewed it before, so I was hoping that my thoughts weren't going to be the same, so this video could be different from the previous review. And I'll have to say, yes, my thoughts, I think, are... there's more in-depth thinking about this album when I went back to it now for this re-review, because my original thoughts as I watched the video, I gave my points, but I felt like that I didn't really explain too much exactly how I felt about this release. I, said the typical, I like this song, blah, 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 blah. But I feel like that I have more things to say this time around after listening to this album and relearning everything again. Of course, this is the first album from Iron Maiden to feature keyboards. Now, when that phrase is said, and I read that originally, and then going back and re-listening to this album for this re-review, the keyboards, yes, there are some keyboards, but not that much. If you know this album, then you know that. There's not that much keyboards, but when they are there, it is a very strong presence. But a lot of the times, the keyboards are not present at all. But like I said, when they are there, it's a strong presence, and it really does change the mood of this album. And there's a lot of prog rock type elements when those keyboards come in. And I feel like that kind of changes up the formula of Iron Maiden and kind of gives them a twist and kind of gives them something new to kind of go off of and maybe, write a different way, find a different way to kind of write certain songs or certain sections when the keyboards are present and it's adding another element. It's really changing up the sound, because when you listen to, like, say, a certain section from an Iron Maiden song off this record without keyboards, it sounds like typical Iron Maiden. Some say that's bad, some say it's good. But when the keyboards are there, it really does add this, like, different element. It really changes up the sound and everything that's going on, and it's very unique to kind of see this keyboard kind of happening at different sections. But it's not that much, so it shouldn't scare people away. But it does add a different element, and there are some prog rocky moments, so expect that if you are not familiar with this album. Now, the huge thing now is I've realized something that I originally, back in my first review of this album, I didn't really talk about. And essentially, after listening to this album, I will have to say, with just all honesty, the first half of this album, including track number 5, as there are 8 tracks, so essentially half is 4 out of 8, obviously. But I feel like that most of the first half and track number 5 are my favorite moments of this album. Come on, let's get through here. Come on, stupid me, boom. Because the first track, Moonchild, Infinite Dreams, track number 4, The Evil That Men Do, and track number 5, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, are my favorite tracks. Now, track number 3, Cannot Play With Madness, is a fun track. It's got the keyboards in the chorus, and it's a fun track, but overall, I would rather listen to Moonchild, Infinite Dreams, The Evil That Men Do, and Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, the title track, because I feel like these songs kind of represent what we'd expect from Iron Maiden, and then it also represents some of the more proggy elements, especially Seventh Son of the Seventh Son, track number 5, the title track, 9 minutes and 53 seconds, and they really push it to the limit. They really add so many things into that track, and it really keeps it going. And some may say, why do they have to keep the length going and going and going? Well, I feel like that, like I said, the keyboards are helping them come up with newer ideas and come up with new ways to kind of, go along with writing, so I feel like that it kind of helped out with writing long songs. Now, they have written long songs in the past, but it's different with this keyboard. It's different on this album because I feel like the band is trying to write different things and trying to come up with newer ways to come up with ideas because of the keyboards, like I've been saying in this review. Track number 1, Moonchild. I feel like that song has a great opener. It is a very strong song. Bruce Dickinson does a fantastic job on Moonchild. He's fantastic on all of the albums, but I feel like that especially on Moonchild, the opening track, he really does set a tone. His voice sounds a little bit more lower in its register at the beginning of Moonchild, and the chorus, you just can't help it but sing along with him. But Moonchild, I think really it does a very good job opening this album and kind of giving you the sense of that we're still Iron Maiden. The keyboards, yes, the keyboard happened in the intro of Moonchild, yeah, but we're still Iron Maiden, so fans, calm down in a sense. But track number 2, Infinite Dreams. Now this is a song that I think is the I'm going to use the word progressive. Now, I know some people are probably going to disagree with that, but listening to Infinite Dreams, there are so many variations and so many changes within that song. It really just makes you think progressive. There's so much different things going on, and there's so much changes, and you were listening to this very peaceful intro with just the beautiful clean guitars, and then we're going to hit you with a riff. It's not heavy, it's not fast, it's just, it's slowly ramping up, and the stuff gets faster. And the guitars start getting a little more crazy. The melodies come in, and then the solo, and there's all these different sections and all these different variations and changes that I just keep thinking of the word progressive. It is a very progressive song because it builds, and there's so much going on, and I love the song to death for that. I'm not saying it's a bad song because it's progressive and they're doing it. No, I feel like this song has so much going on. This really shows, I think, where Iron Maiden was at their current time, because there are some more I call progressive moments on this album, but Infinite Dreams is one of my favorite songs for that reason, because there's so many beautiful and very epic and very just mighty moments within the song, coming from the band, from the instruments, and Bruce Dickinson himself. The Evil That Men Do, it's another great song. I love it, but you know, I feel like that the first two tracks, but the Evil That Men Do is a good song nonetheless. I really enjoy it, and it's part of my favorites. But like I said, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, that's the song I recommend, and Infinite Dreams the most if I had to pick. The Prophecy, the Clairvoyant, and Only the Good Die Young are great tracks, and Only the Good Die Young has a great bass moment from Steve Harrison. Sounds like he's playing a bass solo, so I have to give it props to that. But I feel like that track number 6, The Prophecy, the Clairvoyant, track number 7, and Only the Good Die Young, track number 8, are good songs, but I feel like that the songs that I mentioned earlier, track number 1, 2, 4, and 5, are definitely my favorites because I think they just stand out more. But the album in a whole is great, but I feel like that the songs that I talked about a lot, talking about the songs, I feel like are the best moments and the best representations for this album, I personally believe. So there's that. So if you've not heard this album and you're curious to get into this record, if you're curious to get into Iron Maiden, like I said, the songs from this album that I do recommend, I'll once again say it before we go off into the actual personnel. The songs I do recommend: Moonchild, Infinite Dreams, The Evil That Men Do, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, and Only the Good Die Young, to hear that bass moment from Steve Harrison, to hear the ending where they end the song sounding like it's coming from a live show where they're all going crazy and the drums going all over and Nicko McBrain going crazy. So, yeah. One thing I do want to mention, Infinite Dreams. The best thing that I love about that song, besides the guitars, because those are just fantastic once again, Nicko McBrain, his drumming on Infinite Dreams is amazing. He does so many great things, and just I love what he did with that song. So definitely check out those drums if you have not. Personnel, let's go through this, and then we'll be done with this re-review, and I'll give you my final thoughts, of course. Bruce Dickinson on vocals, like I've been saying in this review, and like I've said on previous album reviews through this discography, Bruce Dickinson does a fantastic job each time. There's nothing that he does that I'm going, I don't like that, please, I wish he would have did something else. He's doing a great job, so I feel like I'm repeating myself, and I feel bad, like I have nothing new to bring to the table, but he's doing a fantastic job singing these lyrics, screaming the lyrics, saying these lyrics, whatever the case may be. He is doing a fantastic job. So, you know, what else do you expect from Bruce Dickinson? I don't know what else to say without repeating myself, because I already technically am, but I have to just say, he's doing a fantastic job. He's Bruce Dickinson, and I love him. I love what he does. So, anyways, let's continue on. Dave Murray, Adrian Smith on guitars. Now, the guitar playing is phenomenal on this album. Like I said, the tracks that I mentioned the most and talked about a lot during the actual track listing, my favorite songs, the guitars are just monstrous. There is a lot of great riffs, a lot of changes and variations. The riffs that can go from very fast paced, like just extreme, like very fast speed wise. Then we go to like the kind of chuggy type of riffs, or the kind of riffs that in middle paced riffs that make you just want to bob your head and get to the groove. Then the slower riffs, and then the melodies are just to die for. The solos are shreddy and in your face. The guys are just, once again, just came up with some amazing guitar work, a lot of great song sections, and they overall just have a lot of great things going for them, and they are a great duo, and I love what they do. They really bring out, I think, the best in what Iron Maiden does, and I think what it is to come up with some very unique songwriting to kind of give the fans something new to listen to. The melodies have to stand out. The riffs have to be powerful. They have to hit you. And so I feel like that they are accomplishing everything you'd expect. And the solos, like I said, are technical, shreddy, melodic in some senses. But overall, the guitars are just tremendous and just so out there. It's so good. Steve Harris on bass guitar. He also did string synthesizers. Adrian Smith did a synthesizer as well, but Steve Harris on bass, because I want to focus mainly on them. But like I said, the keyboards and synthesizers are good, but there's not that much throughout this record if you look at the all of it at once. Steve Harris on bass, he's doing a fantastic job. He is doing, once again, a tremendous work he's doing here. There are some moments, like I said, the end of Only the Good Die Young, where he plays like a little bit of like something like a bass solo thing. It's really cool. There are some moments where when the guitars are going and the song's going along, and then you hear the guitars playing this riff, and it's kind of a simplistic riff, and then you hear, if you really listen closely, you hear Steve Harris under there, because the bass is turned up, but you hear him playing, going all over and just going crazy while the guitars are just doing this simplified riff in a sense, and he's going crazy all over the bass, and it just makes you go, like, wow, he is adding so much to the song, but to someone who's not really paying attention, probably wouldn't notice too much what exactly he's doing and helping these songs kind of add more to it and make it more exciting. So Steve Harris, I feel like that he gets enough credit for what he does, but I feel like that to a regular listener of this band, they may not realize exactly how much Steve Harris, helps out with these songs playing bass and what exactly he brings to the table to the band. So he does a fantastic job here once again. Nicko McBrain, I gave him praise on Infinite Dreams drumming. He does a fantastic job on this album too. I feel like that his drumming, he keeps surprising me. That's what's really exciting. He keeps surprising me about his drumming. He really does do some new things on here. He does some really cool drum patterns that stand out, and I feel like that he could do no wrong at this point. He is doing exactly what you'd expect. When there's a simplified section going on, he could play really simple, or he could, play simple, but then add some flavor and add some, his own unique way on it and basically make it a little bit more exciting, and that's what he does. I mean, Nicko McBrain is a monster behind the kit, and I'm excited to see what all these guys go after the next album. I'm excited. So, but yeah, all the guys sound great. The production, I feel like, is great, and this is a great album. I respect this album more. My final thoughts. Anyways, I respect this album more. I respect it more. I appreciate this album more, and it is definitely worth listening to. My rating for this album is definitely a 9 out of 10. It definitely deserves that ranking. There's so many good songs on here. There's so many great sections. The band sounds amazing, and go check it out. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, 9 out of 10. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. That's the end of my review. Let me know what you think about this album in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, like the video. If you want to see my stuff or me or more of my stuff, click my name or subscribe to see more. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.